E-commerce owners' objections that they love to give. Number one is you're too expensive. I could do this myself. Have you ever heard that from an e-commerce business? This video is all about how to close more social media marketing clients in the e-commerce niche. E-commerce owners are tech savvy entrepreneurs who know their stuff when it comes to online marketing, online business, and generating revenue through online stores, which means when it comes to closing them for your social media marketing agency, you're up against the very best when it comes to convincing them of the value you can bring and also showing them that you are an expert beyond what they could do themselves in their own stores. Stick around because through this video, I'm going to be giving you the exact methods, approach, and strategy we have in place to not closing them, but having them close themselves on why we should be the service providers for their social media advertising and marketing. What are some of the typical mistakes that social media marketers are making when they're approaching e-commerce businesses? The first one is you're over-promising. Do not over-promise e-commerce businesses results that you cannot tangibly achieve, simply because as soon as they realize you can't do that, and this goes for any client really, but as soon as you don't hit that mark, you are going to damage your reputation, and many of these businesses know each other when it comes to the higher upper echelon of those generating massive volumes of revenue in their companies. I've worked with businesses from startup all the way up to scale up and all the way up to initial public offering, doing over 4, 5, 6 million pounds a year when I started working with them. So I've seen the entire landscape, and one thing I can tell you is the first thing you don't want to do is make unrealistic predictions about the results that you can produce, because it will get you nailed and pinned to the cross, so to speak, if you underachieve from that point moving forwards. The other problem with that is if you over deliver and you get better results than that, that client's going to think that you're going to do that week in, week out, every single month, and put so much pressure on you naturally because they're used to you exceeding your very ambitious targets. Be careful with what targets you forecast to e-commerce clients. Another massive mistake when prospecting e-commerce businesses is making them feel patronized about what they do or don't know about marketing for their own business. Ladies and gentlemen, just because an e-commerce business is looking for help with scaling their store with you, it doesn't mean they don't know how to market it themselves. They don't know how to operate Facebook ads equally or just as good as you. What they're actually paying you for is ideas and new approaches to the actual methods that they already know work for their store. The biggest turn off that after speaking to so many e-commerce store owners they say about other agencies, other pitches, is they're patronizing the e-commerce entrepreneurs by making out that they don't know certain things, certain strategies on the platforms that these guys and girls have already built their brilliant businesses on. Don't do it. Don't patronize any business owner. Quick qualification you need to do with every e-commerce business that you're prospecting is, number one, have they already got track record? Of course, in an ideal world, every single business you prospect will already have sales, but startup e-commerce brands are very, very difficult to scale when you have no data, no sales, and no customer kind of avatar already approved and identified successfully. If you don't have that, you need to go back and start strategizing. If you're helping a startup, try and figure out who their customers are. But if they don't have that, you need to qualify that from the beginning and make sure that you're aware and communicate to them. It's going to be a difficult journey until we find who our customers actually are. It all starts with that qualification. Another way to qualify e-commerce businesses that you want to work with in your social media marketing agency is making sure they have the budgets and the required finances to actually scale to the moon and back with you as an agency. One of the most killer scenarios that we experience as social media marketers is when we scale a store, they run out of budget, they can't release cash flow quick enough because their orders have to go through X, Y, and Z, and the cash flow doesn't get released from their payment processor quick enough. They just don't have enough reserves in the business. So you want to stay in your lane and make sure they're taking responsibility for what they bring to the table, particularly with their cash flow. With any e-commerce business you're prospecting is, do they even have the products at scale? So if you have massively successful campaigns, you want to run those month in, month out, you want consistency in your agency. Does this business actually have enough product in their warehouse, in their unit, that you can help them sell without you having to pause and stop campaigns over a 12-month period, for example. Again, a contract runs in your social media marketing agency from the moment it's signed to the term that it ends, and if they pause in between that, it's not your responsibility as an agency to pause billables, because your time and your energy is still committed to that client roster spot, and you don't have somebody you can just input until they're ready to go. Communicate that with the client, make sure they hear that on the front end, and make sure you find out that they have the stock levels you need to be able to make it a really worthwhile relationship for your agency. E-commerce owners' objections that they love to give. Number one is, you're too expensive. I could do this myself. Have you ever heard that from an e-commerce business? Look, that's all about value proposition. The best way you can handle that objection is it an affordability issue right now, or that you don't see the value that I can bring to your campaigns? That is a really great way to get on the same page whenever you hear that objection. Another objection you're going to face from e-commerce owners is, look, I love what you're doing. If you haven't got that much experience or have that many case studies because either you're on NDAs or you haven't been doing this very long, can you show me the exact results? What guarantees can you give me? Give me a guarantee and I'll sign the dotted line. And that's where they're trying to trap you in that first point that I made. They want you to give a target so that if you underperform from that target, they can probably make you feel like shit. Some of the bad business owners out there will try and do that. And if you over deliver on that target, they're going to try and challenge you to over achieve every single month, when it could have been, you know, a number of factors that allowed their products to sell above that target that you initially set. Don't fall, victim to that. The main thing you want to base any kind of predictions on is their existing performance, and then of course the results that you feel you can bring on top of that performance. But don't get tied into being hung up on a specific target just to get the deal done. You have to be on the same side as your client. It's you and your client going to the world and going to battle for more sales for their business together. It should never be a head-to-head between the marketer, the agency, and the client. You guys need to be working together, going that way, not fighting against each other. Another common objection, e-commerce owners, the last one I'm going to run you through is, look, love what you're doing. I've spoken to 2 other agencies and I'm going to find out, it's basically the deferral. I'm going to think about it. I've got a couple of other pitches, la-di-da-di-da. Look, what is it, while you've got me on the phone right now, that I can help answer for you that I've missed, that will help us get this deal done right now? What is the one thing that I can solve for you that will help us move forwards with doing business together on this call? There you have it. There's a great way to handle that objection. Should you ever take a percentage deal is a question I get all the time. Percentage of revenue is great only if you've got a level of trust with that client and a level of certainty of their previous product sales. If you don't have that, I don't recommend doing percentage splits, because at the end of the day, they're paying your agency for the time. Now, if you are a really confident and skilled performance marketer, that's where you can introduce offers where you get a base fee and then you also get a percentage of revenue generated above their current performance for the last 3 months on average. So if they're generating 26 grand a month for the last 3 months on average, anything you get from 26 to 50K increase in sales, you'll get a 10% share of, which you can tell is a massive jump in the kind of billables that you can send to that client. But again, you have to have the right client, the right relationship, and the right trust. Now look, I've got a blueprint you guys can follow for finding and signing e-commerce clients at will throughout your entire social media marketing agency, and it's in this book called The First 365: How to Sign 4-Figure Clients Over the Phone from Anywhere in the World. It's our exact method for finding, qualifying, and closing social media marketing clients in the e-commerce niche. The link for that is down below, and the best part, guys, it's 100% free. All you have to do is pay shipping anywhere in the world. So check that out if you need more of a structure and a method and a strategy for getting yourself e-commerce clients on demand over and over again. Look, drop me some comments below. How do you guys go about getting your e-commerce clients? What are your struggles and challenges? What are the objections you're facing? I'm in the comments. I love commenting back and answering any questions for you guys. Until the next video, check out one of the videos on the screen, and I hope it adds as much value as this one.